Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mysterious Mr. Ryan and welcome back to Mr. Ryan's Week of Christmas. Ladies and gentlemen, the big day is finally here. It's Christmas Day. So let me just start off this video just by saying and wishing all of you a happy Christmas. Wherever you are in the world, I hope you've had a nice day, you are having a nice day, or plan to have a lovely day with your family, with your friends, with whoever. So obviously I've been building up to this over the past week or so. I've hinted that it will be a big build on Christmas, and need to stay in true Mysterious Mr. Ryan fashion, this is a giant build, or at least it feels giant to me. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Christmas castle. So for those of you who follow my channel for any amount of time will know that castles are somewhat of my speciality and something I really enjoy making, and this particular build is no exception. So this is a Christmas castle, as I've called it. The idea of this particular build is kind of a frosty, snowy, cold theme. So pretty much you'll see major colours through this build will be your blues, your whites, there may be a few greens here and there. I will have some splash of colours, there will be some reds, there will be some pinks and some other colours as well. On the most part though, trying to keep this a very cold, frosty style theme. So let's talk a little bit about the layout. So this particular build is a bit different from what I would usually build with a castle. Most of my castles either have an outer wall and then a central build in the case of the Knight Citadel, or bit different, which will be where they actually include the castle within the walls, which will be a bit more like Disney or Blackwater. This particular build is a little bit different from both of those examples. So what this actually is the outside walls. I have 4 separate buildings within them. I have a church, I have 2 major builds, and then a back building. So that is actually the 4 separate buildings in here. So it's a bit different from what I would usually do, but really like the way this turned out. There were a couple of harsh cuts you just saw there. The reason behind that is I've been having a few problems with my game, and this particular build was no exception. I was having some glitches, and basically every time I placed a certain type of wall, a certain type of floor, it classed the whole thing as one big room and turned it all into one floor, which naturally isn't quite what I was going for. So a few problems, and basically those harsh cuts probably saved you about 40 minutes of sped up viewing. So I think in the end it took me somewhere around 3 hours to recover what was going on there. No matter what I tried, what shapes, I had to reload the game several times. In the end, I just saved you a lot of time. So again, you saw another example just then of a glitch in my game, which is when I tried to actually create this nice area of an entrance hall. You can see there, immediately it turned the whole thing into one big floor. Not quite what I was going for. So again, just quickly backtracked with the Control Z and managed to rectify that. So with this particular build, unlike some of the castles I've done, I've gone for no actual turrets. These are all spires, a bit like Disney, so opting for a similar style. So the buildings themselves are the octagons, but the 2x1 method that I did on Disney, and then the nice big tall maximum roofs I can get, one regular, one offset on the diagonal, max to the top, and then curved inwards to get the nice curving spire. As for colours, these are currently obviously in the default roof pattern, but the roofs will go from a mix of, there will be some light blues on the major build, and on each of the turrets there will be a nice shade of white, with the exception of the church, which will have a green on the little turret there, and it will actually be a kind of a metal look for the main part of the church itself. So with this build, as I mentioned, I've gone for a slightly different design with not just the build itself. I'm trying to build using the new expansion. So with using the new expansion, there's some new materials, some new items, some new wallpapers and designs. You'll see some of the new roofs here with the white there, really bright, really vibrant white. And basically there's a lot of European designs in there, and with those I want to kind of utilise some of the new wallpapers, so I decided to build some kind of medieval looking builds within here, kind of as part of the castle wall. So we'll see them as the build progresses, some really nice designs. So as you go around the build here, you can see what I've done is just made the whole outside of the build this one uniform colour. I call this, in my personal life, a placeholder wallpaper. The wallpaper will be used in the build and will be for a large quantity of it, this particular paper. However, you can see that the bricks themselves are being replaced on certain areas, like the crenulations, with another style of brick, and also the, as I've alluded to already, when I come on to the actual buildings, some of those will be changed for some of the new get-together wallpapers as well. So nothing more than a placeholder at the moment. Just as we move through the build then, you can see I've gone for the nice white and blue fences, and here I'm using one of the new wallpaper designs in the Get Together pack. So we've gone for this nice, it's quite a dark grey and white wood, and then for the chapel itself I've gone for a light white and light grey wood as well. Mixing up the designs here, so many different designs as you can see in the toolbar at the bottom there for the Get Together pack. So really looking forward. I've got to the new year where I've got some amazing ideas planned already. The calendar is filling up, and some of you guys have also submitted some ideas to me, so really looking forward to putting some of those into practice as well. So here we go, just moving around this particular build. As you can see, I move around the back of the main build, as I call it, with the similar style to the rest of it in that colour. That ground floor, as you can see, I've just put a wallpaper across it now. I will change this wallpaper a few times. I may look at it again. I may try and reshape it. I wasn't entirely happy with how it's looking. In the end I was, but it took a bit of time to get this. So just bear that in mind. I may change and move things about a little bit. Speaking of moving things about, I will explain this now. Cheats that will be enabled for this particular build is Unlock Gameplay Entitlement and the Move Objects cheat, the only two I regularly use. Pretty much you can say as standard they're going to be on my builds and will be enabled right now, as you can see. And then for all the platforms there, you can see I've gone for a nice light blue wood there all the way around, and just trying to break up this particular build by creating these sort of window balcony areas like you'd find in a medieval style, a classic iconic one at least, with that nice dark grey there, just to contrast a little bit. And then using the Move Objects cheat, I've put those column posts on each of the corners of that particular part. It's subtle, but really helps build out the character of that quite a lot. And then when you put the windows in as well, it really helps add to the feel of it. So really pleased with how that turned out as well. Just you saw there, just while I'm working on this particular fountain in the centre here, you saw I put some windows down. I'll explain a little bit more about them in a moment, but they will change and adjust throughout the build, and I'll explain why. Just as we move through the courtyard itself there, you can see I'm placing in a mix here of two different types of flooring, using one of the new ones from the Get Together pack as well as one of the pre-existing ones as well. And just creating a nice branch leading in there with the lights either side and all around the pathway as well, leading up to the centre where you can branch off to the chapel, to either the side buildings or to the major build. For the fountain itself, I've gone for a nice octagon style fountain there with the offset jumping fountains, which then with two of them on top of each other will get the perfect jump all the way around. As you can see then, the windows themselves on the most part will actually be these white and blue ones that I'm using here with the dome at the top. The bit that will actually change with them and move around, however, is the size. I opted for, on the most part of setting up this particular build, I opted for using the smaller of the two versions of that. That will change a few times. Throughout this build I will delete windows, I will add windows, they will be moved around. Unfortunately, it's just one of those things. When I was building it, I wasn't happy with how it's looking, and me being the perfectionist I am, I just wanted to keep changing it, and after a while I just had to get to a point where I just had to make the call that enough was enough. And yeah. As we move into the actual build itself, I'll explain when things happen though. So the actual exciting part, the working on the interior of this particular build. So we can start off then. Every part of this wall, with the exception of like the two little parts there either side of these sort of entrance columns, is accessible through the walls. You can access every single part through the walls. You can access the main parts of the build. You can access all the what will be the bedrooms, the upper turrets. Everything can all be accessed via that method. So what I've started off there is with a bathroom there leading into this nice corridor. I started off with an archway, but actually changed that for a door because I know Sims can get a bit funny about arches and using restrooms. So what I've done is put the nice curtains there over the windows, leading into a bit of a creativity room. We've got a couple of hedges that can be shaped. We've got an easel in there, and then we move on to the first of the major rooms itself. This particular room itself is a kitchen area. There's sort of a bit of a breakfast bar in here as well. I will stress this particular build will not follow a specific theme of a time period, so there will be a mix of modern and classic items throughout this particular build. So we've gone with a bit of a classic worktop cupboard system going on here, but you can see we've got some modern futuristic looking lamps. We've got some current tech in the form of the extractor fan, the oven, blenders, everything like that. And just going through then, just swapping out some of the countertops to make them usable surfaces versus the actual breakfast bar area, where we'll actually have space for 4 Sims to come and eat quite comfortably. And as you can see on that rug there, a nice place to come and sit. Obviously, as I mentioned, this is a Christmas castle, so the Christmas castle will be complete without a holly wreath and also some decorations on the wall. And that will be present throughout the build, and I'll comment on things as we get there. So you can see I've put another hallway in leading into the major part of the build, where I've got more of the big windows here, and these hanging lights. These are lovely hanging lights. Some of my favourite ones in the game, but unfortunately I can't use them very often because of the height limitations. These need to be on the tallest setting, and even then I'm still not sure if Sims may conflict with them, so just bear that in mind. If you actually use this and run into that problem, you may need to adjust those particular hanging lights, but hopefully everything should be fine. As we move through, then you can see I've put in a nice big fireplace, nice big flat screen TV above it with a nice bank of white sofas all around it for a nice place to come and sit and chill by the fire and watch a bit of TV. There was also a desk I placed along with some decorative items as well, and a couple of bookcases just gone in by the staircase in the centre by the main entrance, and again more lights and a holly wreath on the wall as well. Some artwork to brighten up the place a little bit, to get a bit of decorative items, and naturally, this being a Christmas style build, we need a giant Christmas tree in this build. So you can see a nice bank of 4 chairs going around this lovely silver, white and blue Christmas tree with some nice silver presents all below it. I will move that slightly over towards the stairs in a moment just to get myself a bit more space in this particular build. I felt, although the Christmas tree is nice, it was taking up a little too much area, so I move it slightly over just to get a bit of space around that nice big grand piano. As I've mentioned already, cheats enabled for this one are move objects and unlock gameplay entitlement, which that is one of the unlockable grand pianos. As for packs in this one, as you probably guessed, me being me and making videos for you guys on YouTube means I have every single expansion pack, so we'll bear this in mind if you are downloading this. Unfortunately, if you do not have the get together pack, there will be some wallpapers, some textures, some items and stuff in here, along with all the other packs. So if you do try and download this and you aren't owning anything, unfortunately you do run the risk that you may get a dead item in here, so apologies in that. You can replace them quite happily. You can still download this and use this in your game, but just bear that in mind, you may end up with some missing textures. As we move around the build itself, you can see we've got here the nice dining room I'm just finishing off with now. So we've got a nice big dining table there, we've got a couple of decorative items, a nice couple of Christmas trees in here as well, and some pictures on the wall. We've got some nice a holly wreath and some decorations on the wall as well, as we move through the rest of the build into the first part of the chapel. So the chapel itself is actually a wedding chapel, and we will have some Christmas decorations in here as well. So it's split into the main chapel, and on either side we've got these two octagons. This particular one is for the groom, and the other one will be kitted out for the bride. But naturally, depending on what you want to do with your Sims, whether you want to have different types of relationships, whatever you would personally like to do, the colours themselves can be changed. But I have personally just tried to show you what you can do with this build. So I've gone for a groom and a bride. So we've got the groom on this on the left side, the bride will be on the right side of the chapel itself, and as we move into the centre of the chapel, we've got all the decorations going up there, the nice marriage arch, and we've got the hearts on the wall and some nice seats for your friends to come and watch your happy days. As we move into the bride's room itself then, so pretty much exactly the same. We've got a mannequin in the centre there for obviously where the dress can hang for the time being, and also a nice place for the groom's suit as well. Nice mannequin in the centre there, and the chapel itself is pretty much done. So nothing too exciting there, nice and small, but the important thing is it's there. It's something a bit different, and I really like how it turns out. As you can see there, it's just working a little bit on the last part of the front there, so I've put a couple of ice sculptures outside, a couple of holly wreaths there, just to brighten up that front door, and I'm actually really happy with how that looks. As we move to the upper story then, the upper story is a bit strange. I actually utilise all of the turrets up here, so try and turn them into rooms for servants, or in this particular case we use a communal bathroom up here as well. So we've got a nice toilet in here, shower, doors, sink obviously, and some plants as well. And the actual servants' rooms will actually be pretty generic. So we've got a nice standard issue floor there, standard single bed there, bedside cabinet, nice blue rug, and a chest of drawers off to the side as well. Quite plain, quite simple, but it gets the job done. And now it's time to move into the first of the rooms, and this particular one is the teen girl's bedroom. So in this particular room we can see we've got a nice yellowy wallpaper, a really light wood with the pink on the bed there, and as most of this is sort of a light wood blue and stuff, the pink just adds that splash of colour I think the build was missing. So really like this room quite a lot, especially with those lamps in the corner, because I actually hide them as you can see with the chest of drawers there. We've got a desk in the centre and we've got the bookcase as well. We've also got a nice big Christmas tree with a couple of pink presents all around it, naturally pink presents obviously. And then as we move through the build itself, we're just going to finish off with some curtains and move on to the major build. So we're going to start off the major build itself. You can see we've done all the downstairs already, so this is the upper story. So what we're going to start off with, a nice fitness area. So we've got a couple of treadmills in here with a couple of mirrors either side of the window, and obviously some posters as well. A couple of decorative items, a holly wreath, pictures, and everything like that as we move through to one of the corridors. So trying to make use of the corridors is kind of a little bit hard, so what I've done is put the runner leading to the door here and put a nice little chessboard. Bit of a strange choice, I know, but I actually kind of like it and I think it works, but obviously your mileage may vary, so just be aware you can take that away if you want to. Moving on to the next room itself, this particular one is kind of a creativity room. So we've got a nice rug in the centre, nice big window with obviously some artwork on the walls as well, leading with the easel looking out the window, and the hedge, as well as we've got a violin, a guitar in here as well. Then moving into the landing area, so we start off then just by taking those stairs up from the downstairs floor. We've got a nice couple of wreaths on the wall, modern light there, and some doors leading through, along with some decorative stencils on the wall as well. Nice big window going in there, a couple of decorations, and naturally we've got the snowmen in each corner standing guard by the top of the stairs. As we move into the master bedroom itself, the master bedroom done with this white stripe, white and grey stripe, and you can even say it's possibly a bit of a blue tinge to it, and also a subtle, really light blue on the carpet, maybe leading more towards a white. We've got the white and blue desk there with a nice blue leather chair. Easel in the corner, statue and some decorative items on the wall, and a couple of big windows looking out there. Also some decorations, a holly wreath above where the nice big bed will go as well. Rug under there with a couple of bedside tables and a little splash of red there with the nice red flowers on the bedside cabinets. Bookcase and a nice little two-seater sofa in the corner there. So this is the ensuite bathroom, but will actually be accessible by other areas of the house as well. So we've got a nice big bath in there. We've got a toilet, sink, couple of towels, one in white, one in blue, just nice there. Modern light and a doorway leading through to what will be the nursery area. So this is kind of the play area more than anything. So we start off with that light in the centre. We've got the, naturally we're going to have all the child's creative stuff that was required. So we've got a nice cork border on the wall there, just adjusting the curtains and windows. Chemistry set. To build some creative stuff. We've got a nice big Drago EA. I'm hoping you've sent me one of those for Christmas. It will be a nice little surprise on Christmas morning. And then as we move through here, we've got a nice bassinet. We've got a couple of tables off to the side here. We've got a nice teddy bear on the wall, and also we've got a couple more decorative items just to finish off that area. As we move through then, we move on to the next of the standalone rooms. So this particular one here is a boys' bedroom. So this is actually equipped for 2 teen boys. So we've got a couple of suits of armour here. We've got a nice couple of single beds, and also we've got the bedside cabinets to match in each of the colours. We've got a single desk in here, nothing too exciting. We've got a nice black chair and a computer as well. We have got a couple of rugs, nice Christmas tree with the presents around it as well, and then to finish up with decorative items on the wall with the crest and a nice map. Dragos in each corner, chest of drawers off to the side here, and a bookcase along with a nice lamp just in the background and a couple of decorations just to finish off. As we move on to the last real area, so these are the servants' quarters. So we've seen one of these already, so these will just be complete mirror images of one another just to finish off the build. So we've got one here and we've got one more to go. So exactly the same, we've got the single bed in there, cabinet off to the side there for drawers. We've got the bedside table and a rug as well. And that completes the build as we move into the glamour shots, just finishing up there with the last couple of touches, and as you can see, the build itself is now complete. So I just want to thank you guys for watching. It's been amazing to build this, and I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have for the Christmas castle. Obviously stick around, Mr. Ryan's Week of Christmas will finish tomorrow. We have one more build lined up, along with a little bit of a thank yous and some upcoming news for the channel, so stay tuned for that one. If you are wondering what to watch now though, please do click the little eye in the top corner, and that will take you to the rest of the playlist where you can check out some of the other videos in the Mr. Ryan's Week of Christmas. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have enjoyed this series. It's been so much fun making it. I hope you enjoyed this build. And naturally, if you want to download this into your game via the SimSword Gallery, just search Mysterious Mr. Ryan. Ladies and gentlemen, it is 3 o'clock Christmas morning. I am really tired, so naturally I'm going to go to bed. And hopefully, wherever you are in the world, you've had a great day or having a great day. But for now, I am out. Have a lovely Christmas, all of you, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care, as always.